Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon to vote for your favorite Bloodborne character, and like and subscribe for happier childhoods next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Master Chief, a man in a big green box that helps sell smaller green boxes. Halo Infinite might have been delayed, but that just means you've got more time to put this faceless killing machine into D&D. Hooray! Who needs a launch title anyways?
I want bug snacks.
It's a Sony exclusive, kid.
Ho, ho, ho.
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need to get some green armor that will make our enemies' eyes pop because we're going to punch their eyes out of their head. Next, we need a cavalcade of weapons, which in my experience are good and honorable to use until you start beating your friend Trevor, then they're cheap bullcrap. But not how Trevor uses them, because he uses them fairly. Whatever, Trevor, stay salty. Finally, since you're a little power built baby, we need to power build, baby. But if you want to power build your streaming options, why not sign up for today's sponsor, Surfshark? Surfshark is a VPN. That's a virtual private network that lets you check out region-locked content by moving your IP address around the world. Want to watch Lord of the Rings, but you're stuck in the United States? Just switch your location and then it's time to binge the trilogy again. But the main draw of Surfshark VPN is protecting your personal information from hackers, data miners, and corporations. Believe it or not, your data is valuable. Everybody wants it, but nobody wants to tangle with the shark. Surfshark is also going to work on all of your devices. I'm talking gaming consoles, tablets, and browsers. So no matter where you're using the internet, you're gonna be safe and secure. Surfshark is giving Tulok subscribers 83% off and 3 free months, which boils down to less than $3 a month on a 2-year subscription. Click the link in the description, get your VPN on, and say hello to safer browsing and more options when you stream. Now back to the video. For stats, we're using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, you just need to have a big brain. Intelligence is number 1. You use all the fancy gear whenever you pick it up. It's just like laying on the ground, not how I'd recommend storing a rocket launcher. Dexterity next. You might be a big guy, but no matter how much you lift, guns usually hit harder than punches. Charisma after that. You're intimidating to your enemies and inspiring to your fellow soldiers. Follow that up with wisdom. Seeing is a good idea because you need to see to shoot stuff. Constitution and strength are low, even though you're a massive physical specimen. How? How could I do this? That's wrong. Well, if we're power building, we'll get something to fix those up later, so there's no reason to do it now. If you don't want to power build, I don't know what to tell you. Master Chief is an anime protagonist. He's the best at everything. Master Chief is a clone of a human, so hey, that makes him a human. But he got beaten down, ripped apart, and put back together in the Spartan 2 program, so we'll give him the athlete feat for +1 strength or dexterity. Dexterity is going to be my pick. Gives you a climbing speed equal to your normal speed, and you can make a running long jump with 5 feet of run up instead of 10, and you can stand up from prone with 5 feet of movement instead of half. I didn't mean to include crouching really fast into this build, but here we are. Bump your dexterity and intelligence with your 2 free points, take persuasion for your skill of choice, and the soldier background for athletics and intimidation proficiency, as well as ground vehicle proficiency if you want to hop in a warthog. There isn't air vehicle proficiency in D&D, but you could always get that later if your DM adds it to the list by taking some Artificer levels, since they get a tool proficiency of their choice, which we're gonna do. First level Artificers get 2 skills from the Artificer list, like Arcana and Perception for better tech and sight in your first-person shooter. You're a magical tinkerer, letting you put some magical stuff in a tiny non-magical item, letting you make a puff of smoke or record a message. It's basically a gamer tag. For your cantrips, guidance and resistance give a creature a d4 for ability checks or saving throws, respectively, to just kind of be better or to make your soldiers better. For your first level spells, Identify lets you know what a magical item is and what it does and how many charges it has left, helping you know what the gun is before you pick it up. Expeditious Retreat lets you dash as a bonus action for 10 minutes, depending on your concentration, for some Spartan speed. But if you truly want to be a spaceman, you'll get there with the second level of Artificer and some infusions. Enhanced Weapon adds 1 to the attack and damage rolls with a weapon while making it magical to give you a beam sword or a gravity hammer. Not that you've got the strength for either of those. I know some people get so mad at videos sometime that the blood vessel in their forehead explodes and closes the browser, but trust me, we are gonna get there. Repeating Shot takes a ranged weapon like a light crossbow, hand crossbow, or heavy crossbow, and adds 1 to the attack and damage rolls with it, gives it unlimited ammo, and lets you attack with it multiple times in a turn without reloading. Hand crossbow, magnum, light crossbow, assault rifle, heavy, sniper rifle. Enhanced Armor makes your armor green. Also, it adds 1 to the AC bonus of an armor, which I know that you're super weak and you can't wear heavy armor yet, but again, we're gonna get there. Finally, Goggles of Night lets you see in the dark with your dumb human eyes. That's pretty self-explanatory. Third level Artificers can start fixing our low strength score with the Armorer subclass, giving you power armor so you can wear heavy armor without the strength minimum, and it can't be removed without your permission. You're not big on showing people your face. You can choose between 2 models. I think the Halo 5 model works best for you. Sorry, that's the Guardian model. This lets you give yourself temporary HP equal to your Artificer level as a bonus action at the end of your turn and punch people with some Thunder Gauntlets. These are simple weapons that deal 1d8 thunder damage, and they give a creature disadvantage to hit other creatures that aren't you until the start of your next turn. Even better, you can use your intelligence instead of your strength, which should help you make this useful. If you're bad at video games like me, then you're a big fan of the Needler, so it's a good thing that you get Magic Missile, firing 3 needles that deal 1d4 plus 1 force damage and automatically hit, unless they cast the shield spell, because that adds 5 to your AC as a reaction and makes you immune to Magic Missile for a little bubble shield. You get that spell too. I didn't just like explaining the shield spell. I used to do that on dates though. I was single for a long time. 4th level Artificers get an ability score improvement. Let's get that intelligence up. Big brain means big booms, and Halo isn't known for its subtlety. 5th level Artificers get an extra attack, letting you land 2 meaty mashes or get rapid fire with one of your weapons. For this level spell, Magic Weapon makes a weapon magical in terms of overcoming resistances and adds 1 to the attack and damage rolls for an hour depending on your concentration. Why do this when you have infusions? Well, sometimes you want to switch weapons. In Halo, I've never really felt the urge to do that in D&D. Even if I play a fighter, the game says, hey, you can use every weapon. I'm like, thanks, just the Warhammer for me. 6th level Artificers get Tool Expertise, letting you double your proficiency bonus for tool checks you're proficient with, like ground vehicles, to be good at driving. You can also scoop up 2 more infusions here. Resistant Armor gives a set of armor resistance to acid, cold, fire, force, lightning, necrotic, poison, psychic, radiant, or thunder damage. I'm gonna guess fire is the most useful for explosions. Mind Sharpener lets you succeed on a concentration save you normally fail as a reaction to keep your weapons magical. 7th level Artificers get Flash of Genius, letting you add your intelligence modifier to an ability check or saving throw made within 30 feet of you, an amount of times per long rest equal to your intelligence modifier. It's like a more consistent bardic inspiration, but for smart people instead of thirsty musicians. 8th level Artificers get an ability score improvement. Finally, we get to cap off our intelligence modifier. It's kind of weird that your best melee option is punching because of this, but we'll get that fixed up later in a second. 9th level Artificers can learn 3rd level spells like Protection from Energy, letting you give a creature resistance to acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage for an hour. Pair this with your resistant armor to get 2 resistances going at the same time. You also get armor modifications from Armorer, letting you treat a set of armor like 4 different pieces of armor, a chestplate, bracers, boots, and a weapon, and infuse 2 more items per day as long as those 2 extra items are part of your armor. For more infusions that are good, hit the 10th level of Artificer to scoop up the Armor of Magical Strength, letting you use your intelligence modifier for strength checks and saves, effectively making your strength 20, as long as you weren't looking to use it to hit things. People don't actually like the gravity hammer, right? They do? Oh, fine, I'll get something else later. You can also resist being knocked prone 1d4 times per day. That's nice. People don't tend to be very nice in Halo when you're knocked down. Boots of Striding and Springing, triple your jump distance for moon jumps. 11th level Artificers get Spell Storing Item, letting you store a spell of 1st or 2nd level that you can cast with an action into an item. It can then be cast by you or other people using your intelligence modifier, an amount of times equal to double your intelligence modifier. Magic Missile could be fun, but again, I'm a noob, so the Needler just kind of makes me happy. 12th level Artificers get another ability score improvement. Let's start getting that dexterity up to be better at aiming with our less plasma-y weapons. 13th level Artificers can learn 4th level spells. Death Ward lets you not die the first time that you should die in an 8-hour period, hitting 1 HP instead of 0 HP the first time you should. No concentration required here, so just get that 1 extra hit to outlast Trevor. Lord knows he's gonna say you're hacking even though you're at his house playing on his Xbox, but sure Trevor, whatever you say. 14th level Artificers get 2 more infusions, and holy cow, this is where we go from Assistant Regional Chief to Master Chief. A Belt of Hill Giant Strength makes your strength 21, and Amulet of Health sets your constitution to 19. So in 1 level, your attack and damage rolls with a gravity hammer get a +6 buff, and you get 56 more HP and +4 to concentration saves. That's really good. For some real firepower though, we've got to bounce over to Wizard, letting you grab some cantrips like Firebolt to deal 3d10 fire damage to creatures with a ranged spell attack. Light will let you see with your dumb human eyes if you don't want to waste an infusion on Goggles of Night, and True Strike lets your audience know that this bit only ever criticizes pedants, bigots, and gatekeepers, so if you're not one of those, you shouldn't feel hurt by it. If you are, stop being one of those things. Also, it lets you get advantage on a weapon attack next round. It's better to just shoot twice. For first level spells, Thunder Wave forces a Constitution saving throw on creatures in a 15-foot cube in front of you, dealing 2d8 thunder damage to those that fail, half as much to those that succeed, and it pushes them back 10 feet if they fail for a little shotgun thing. Jump triples your jump distance, or I guess Iana tuples your jump distance. That's times 9 with the boots of striding and springing, but you can't outjump your total movement. So 55 feet horizontal or 55 feet vertical, that's still pretty much a flying speed for a minute. Long Strider increases a creature's movement speed by 10 feet for an hour, which means that you can now jump 75 feet with a jump if you need to clear that gap. Featherfall reduces falling damage for up to 5 falling creatures as a reaction in case, I don't know, maybe you had a 72-foot vertical leap and don't want to take 76 falling damage when you land. Burning Hands works as a flamethrower, forcing a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 15-foot cone, dealing 3d6 fire damage to those that fail. Comprehend Languages has Cortana translate for you, letting you understand all spoken and written languages. You also get Arcane Recovery, letting you recover spell slots equal to half your wizard level on short rests, letting you reload if Trevor won't stop spawn camping. Seriously, you're the dude who complains about how everyone else is playing, but you play the most toxic of all of us. Since you're multiclassing spellcasters, look at page 165 of the player's handbook and know that artificers count as half casters. Second level wizards go to school, and war school would be cool, but you'd be a fool not to choose evocation. This lets you sculpt spells to stop griefing your own team members, letting a number of people automatically pass a saving throw for your evocation spells equal to 1 plus the spell's level. This will get better once we get a rocket launcher. Detect Magic will add some more robot waifu to your laifu, letting you scan for different magical auras to figure out what type of magic caused them. Third level wizards can learn second level spells. Scorching Ray shoots 3 grenades that deal 2d6 fire damage each with a ranged spell attack. It's pretty simple shooty damage type stuff. Fourth level wizards get our last ability score improvement. You could grab Sharpshooter if you like sniping, but I don't because that means I have to aim. So I'll go for a dexterity buff instead. I also like the idea of your stats being 21, 20, 19, 20, 12, 13. That's pretty exciting to me. For this level spell, Invisibility lets you turn invisible for up to an hour or until you shoot someone or cast a spell or drop concentration for a little bit of cloaking tech. Fifth level wizards can learn Fireball, which is a third level spell forcing dexterity saving throws on creatures in a 20-foot radius, dealing 8d6 fire damage to those that fail, half as much to those that succeed, for a nice little rocket launcher. Our capstone is the 6th level of Evocation Wizard for Potent Cantrip. So if you scoop up Create Bonfire, spell that deals 4d8 fire damage to creatures that fail a dexterity saving throw in a 5-foot radius, it'll deal half damage if they succeed. I'm more interested in grabbing Haste here to double your movement speed, and I know everyone only cares about the jumping, so 189 is now your horizontal maximum. You get an extra action to attack, disengage, or dash if you want to jump 189 feet in one round. I know you just want to jump. +2 to your AC and advantage on dexterity saving throws for a minute, depending on your concentration. This is the full-on Master Chief, but let's talk about how good that is in the pros section. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you're almost perfect. I'm not even doing 3 goals here. I'm just going to list everything good about you. You've got around 175 HP, 20 AC with haste, 3 attacks per round if you want to shoot, 2 capped attacking modifiers to use any weapon you want, a capped casting modifier if you want to deal magical damage, up to 80 base movement speed, 9 times your standard massive jump distance. I promised a power build, and by God, I think I delivered. For weaknesses, your charisma and wisdom saves are only +1, so if someone burns through all 5 of your flashes of genius, you might start failing saving throws 6 rounds into the game. If you're found outside your armor, which never happens, you'll also only have 2 capped stats. The gold standard I use for power building is my Poison Ivy build, which is a 20th level Spore Druid, meaning she can give herself 80 temporary HP as an action every single turn. So, to measure this against that, you've got to ask yourself, can Master Chief deal 80 damage without critical hits in 1 round? And he can't. So, I guess if you're fighting an immortal druid, that also is hard. That's not even a weakness though. Basically you have no weaknesses and several very strong strengths. If you want to be big man shoot good, then this is the big man shoot good build. Honestly, it's not my thing, but I won't yuck your yum. Unless you're Trevor. And oh, of course Trevor wants to play the power build character. Wow, good for you, Trevor. You're really gonna win D&D. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Join the Patreon for this character sheet and to vote for Father Gascoigne, Lady Maria, or Garamond the Hunter from Bloodborne. Also sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.